gluttons. A foot in the door of your entrance. You can hear the sound from a distance. Make the crowds bow down in submission. This is the mission, so pay attention.
What's going on, people? Welcome to Deep Cuts Review. We're doing this is episode 2. I did the My Bloody Valentine remake original with my wife. Check that out. It's on the channel now. I got a special guest, Envy. Find him at Foreign Language, right here.us, Verbalz, on the Instagram. We both saw a movie yesterday. You saw it in theaters. I saw it at home on Amazon. A Knock at the Cabin with Dave Bautista, Ron Weasley from the Harry Potter movies, Rupert something, I forgot his name off the top of my head. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you would know who we're talking about. Really nobody else I knew off the top of my head.
Yeah, nah.
I didn't really look up their IMDb's or nothing. But from what I've seen for this movie, I'm an M. Night fan. I am an M. Night fan. Unbreakable and Glass and Splitter, it's probably one of my favorite trilogies. Sign's a great movie. Sixth Sense, classic. And so this was directed by directed and written by M. Night Shylaman. I'm not going to butcher his name. And you said to me earlier off camera that this was off a book.
Yeah, I mean, I like Shyamalan too because he's from, I guess he's from Pennsylvania.
Well, he shoots everything in Pennsylvania, which is
I'm not sure
which
what
is
county
dope because
yeah.
he shoots all over the place in Pennsylvania. It's not just
Yeah.
like Philly or he shoots all over Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You know, I think even though it's a horrible movie and I know it's like blasphemous to bring up, but The Last Airbender was actually shot.
He said it's blasphemous.
was shot in Reading at the Pagoda.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which is where
that makes me want to just go back and watch that just because.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And I'm not even a fan of the cartoon, like of the Avatar cartoon. I'm not even a fan of it, but even then it's like, nah, I'm not. That movie was it was boring, and it was just bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
But, again, that was his first try at, like, something with source material to it. So I'll give him a break on that. He needs to stick to his original scripts.
Yeah, he be writing all them other ones.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, this was a good attempt at something that, he didn't, write and so forth, but.
Yeah. And my thing is, too, is what I see from him, you see a lot of Stephen King inspiration from him. Stephen King, all his movies have a twist, or his books, I should say, I'm sorry. His books always have a twist. I mean, even stupid ones like where Pennywise the Dancing Clown is, how you kill him is you just gotta bully him.
There's more than one way to make someone small.
Make him believe that he is.
What? Make it believe that he is.
Oh, me, small. I am the eater of worlds.
Not to us, you're not.
He hits the Soldier Boy. Or he cranks the Soldier Boy, I should say. Check out our 50 Years of Hip Hop episode coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
So this movie came, and I'm just like, I seen not the trailer, I heard the announcement, and I heard Dave Bautista is going to be playing in this movie. I'm like, alright, that's kind of weird for a guy like at his caliber, that he's gonna play in this movie. It's an M. Night movie. M. Night's movie's really not funny or anything. They might have moments, but it's nothing where it's like, like hilarious. And the opening scene of this movie, he's standing there and he's walking towards this little girl. I guess what was her name? Wen?
Yeah.
Wen Chi or something, but they called her Wen. And he's talking to her, and it's kind of creepy, but it's genuine at the same time. Like, it's like innocent. They're catching grasshoppers, and he's like, I could catch them too. I'm really good at it. Which is weird. Like, how did he get so nice at catching grasshoppers? Like,
he's because he's a teacher.
Like, he got real nice. He's real nice at it.
He seems like a patient man too.
Yeah, very patient. Which this is what I said to you earlier. I said I feel like the trailer ruined this movie.
I have to go back and watch the trailer. Sometimes I like to watch trailers after I watch the movie.
Yeah, because the trailer ruined it for me. Because so the idea of the movie was, this couple and their daughter are getting away from the grid. They're getting away from society and spending time with each other, and this group comes knocking at their cabin door, and the idea is they have to sacrifice somebody in their family or the end of the world is coming. And so this group that comes after them sees these visions, and they're oh my God, if you don't do it, the world's gonna end, and for each time you say no, we're not gonna, a plague's gonna hit, and it's like, so you get to this point where you're going, okay, well, what's the decision? It seems like, honestly, it could be an easy decision, but it's really not.
What do you mean, the decision?
Because if somebody comes to you and goes, all right, you got to sacrifice somebody to save billions, and then they hit you with but it has to be one of you, meaning your family. What do you do? Like, do you believe them?
Well, if it's one of those, I wouldn't believe them. By default, you're not going to want to believe them.
Especially when you're isolated and you're not really paying attention to what's going on in the outside
that's another
world.
thing I overlooked. Well, what if they'd have just killed the little girl and just kept it pushing, like, right away?
Honestly, that's where I thought M. Night was going to go. Like, we'll get into spoilers later, but I thought, like, at one point I was like, they might kill this little girl, like, and I'd be like, we'll die later on, because they're going into flashbacks and...
Nah, they was never going to kill a little girl.
But so, yeah, so that was like the premise of the movie. So when they come knocking and he's explaining it, and I don't know, the way this Batista was giving off the dialogue, like, it was so genuine, it was so innocent, where he was just like, look, one of you is going to have to sacrifice each other and then kill that person, and if you don't, you're gonna send a plane. And he broke down like there's gonna be waves and and then there's gonna be sickness and God's gonna grasp his hand on the world or something.
His finger's gonna
crush the world or something. Yeah. And then the world's gonna go dark and you're gonna be in forever midnight. And I was like, oh, so like, okay. And honestly, that sounds like some cult stuff. Like, it does. Yeah. It sounds like some cult stuff. So if I'm watching it as a person that's victim or whatever, which it hits, it's like, okay, so I'm not gonna believe you. You're gonna have to kill me because I'm not gonna kill my own family. Like, sorry, like, so either you shoot me or hit me with your weapon that you were told to build. So that was kind of funny. But what I do like, though, is, and like I said, when I going back to the trailer was showing like the events happening, and I'm kind of like, I guess you get to sell the movie, but I'm not gonna go by. I would love to see it where they're just showing, the group telling them what's gonna happen and their reaction, because it could have been like a 15-second trailer and left it there.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I mean, M. Night's name could sell it without much of a trailer, but I will say, when I look at the cover for it, I thought that it was Dave Bautista's family, and it was them versus the world.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
So I thought it was more like an apocalypse, not zombies to an extent, but because I didn't really see the trailer, but I just thought they were at a cabin and they had to protect themselves against everyone else because they were the only ones who were saved. Yeah, in a way.
And to me from what I seen from like the camera angles, being a film student, so I'm watching these camera angles. First off, the lighting was beautiful. in this movie. Also there was the beginning, the angles of the like extreme close-ups of the little girl's face and Batista's face. I think his name was Leonard in this movie.
Yeah, it was Leonard. Yeah.
Leonard, yeah. And the close-ups, it was very Hitchcock. Like if you've seen like movies like Psycho, you know, you get a lot of like extreme close-ups to like Norman Bates or and his victim in the movie, or you get or Vertigo, another Hitchcock movie. I seen a lot of like Hitchcock influence in this movie, and it seemed like a Hitchcock movie. Like this would be a movie that Hitchcock would make, and so I'm watching. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be very interesting. Even the opening credits was like that old style, grainy. Mm-hmm. Like so, I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting.
I do wonder why the tattoos though.
I guess because it would have been too much to cover up his tattoos.
Yeah, but
because that's his real tattoos. Those are his actual tattoos.
That's what it did make me wonder.
Yeah, I think because I don't think M. Night's. I don't know what his budget was on this movie, because it didn't seem like it was a big budget.
Nah, it didn't. But yeah, you got the disasters.
Yeah,
you got the. See, that's another thing. Honestly, the opening credits made me think about how when these movies are filmed, they actually have. There's a lot more intricacies that go into the set design, where like they had these doodlings of the events.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself,
now
the artist actually has to actually draw all this stuff
and then
make it look like it's just, you know, random, but they actually have to do all that for just these quick shots.
Yeah. So the budget was only $20 million. So
okay.
That's really not. I guess that's not a lot for this time.
By today's standards.
Like you're talking about Marvel, which $200 million movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Gross $32 million, a little over $32 million.
So he had to do.
But great cast though, like
10% of, you know, average. Yeah, great cast.
At first, like to me, this guy was actually in Frozen, the one dad. Oh, he was Kristoff. That's all right. Anyway, sorry, got a little distracted there. The one that I think Daddy Eric, I think, and that had me laughing in the movie when he knocked on the door and he was like, "Is this Daddy Eric I'm talking to?"
Right. Gotcha.
Like that kind of got a chuckle out of me, cause I was like, "Really? you're not gonna just call him Eric? You're gonna call him Daddy Eric?"
But it was genuine. I don't think.
But again, it was like he was not being a psycho.
Right.
And I think that was the scariest part, where these people were actually caring for them. Like, they didn't want this to happen, but they knew it had to.
Yeah.
And I really think, and I think that kind of made me sad, because I'm like, you feel like, man, like, you know, this guy seems like a good guy. This Leonard guy seems like, I mean, the Ron Weasley guy, I forgot it, Rupert or something, whatever his name is, Rodden, I don't freaking know. O'Bannon.
Yeah.
He was a douche.
Right.
He was
right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning, but I'm glad he was the first one to get off.
But he got beat up.
Yo, and Daddy Andrew gave him the hand.
Yeah, and he took the L. Like you know.
Yeah, Daddy.
He didn't step out of what his calling was.
Yeah, and what I liked too was he even said, he was like, my dad used to whip my ass like you just did. So it was like so he's used to it.
Yeah.
But
that was sad though.
But he gave him the hands.
He didn't really get enough of their story either. I mean, they told who they were and everything like that, but it was a sad movie. I mean, yeah,
it had its moments.
You pointed out that it was sad. Really, reality. It did. It was. Yeah.
In a weird way, it was sad, but it was touching.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was sad, but it was touching. Yeah. Like it was.
It made you think.
It really did. Because, you know, you want to hate these guys. You do. You want to hate, you know, Batista's character.
I didn't want to hate anyone.
But, if you're looking at who's really the antagonist, I guess I would say. Are they really antagonists, or are they the heroes?
Not really, because they're not antagonists. The reason I say that is because
they're just doing what came to them.
Yeah, they're not doing anything violent. You know, they're just. Here's my thing: to be able to show that much restraint.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about the movie. So, not to get into spoilers, it's almost to say like, in a sense, they weren't human.
Yeah.
Because we're human. To show that much restraint, if someone's beating you up,
and still be able to fall back,
shooting at you. You feel me? Like all of that. Like, and Dave Bautista's a big boy, so like to show that much restraint, they weren't aggressive in any way. Like,
this is what I'm saying. Now, if I'm Daddy Andrew, I'm gonna call him Daddy Eric and Daddy Andrew because I think that's hilarious.
I mean, they were aggressive to a point.
Yeah.
But it wasn't excessive in any way.
But if I'm Daddy Andrew, the scene when Batista was locked in the bathroom and he broke that window, I'm letting off the clip in the tub.
Yeah, probably so.
Like, because I'm looking at that window, I'm like, there's no way he's getting his
that's something I didn't even catch. He didn't fit through the window. He couldn't
There was
fit.
no way he was fitting through that window. I'm letting off in that shower. I'm letting off the clip.
But in my mind, I'm thinking to myself,
but I think
I'm not wasting all my bullets.
Yeah, I think he was more. That was a warning shot. Like, if you're in there, you better pop out.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
he did hit him. Like, he grazed him, but I think that was what that was. But if that were me, I'm panicking because Batista's a big boy, and if he gets the upper hand on me, I'm done. I'm letting off the clip.
But even that in of itself, to show that much restraint when they could have went in there, those 4 people could have went in there and mopped up the floor with all of them.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even.
But they knew they couldn't.
Yeah.
They had to play by play.
That's crazy.
They had to play, and to the point where, you know, to sit there and tell your story. They're telling you, like, you know, the one girl's like, I have a son. And the visions made me see that he was burning because, you know, and I don't want that for him. And I want to just be with my son. And you're just like, you know what? Daddy Andrew's running his mouth. Sacrifice Daddy Andrew. It's like, he's running his mouth too much. I'm like, but then again, it's like, he's scared. He's panicking. He's trying to protect his family. So he's not a bad guy. He's just the more aggressive one. He's in fight or flight. They're both in fight and flight mode. Eric's more flight,
but Eric's not even flight.
He's out of it a little bit. Yeah,
I think Eric's so much more grounded.
That's a better one.
But we have to think about it from this. This is where our memories are really going to be tested. When they had to mention, they flash back to a bar scene or something where they had to talk about each other's flaws.
Yeah.
I forget what Eric's flaws were. If Eric's the passive one, I'm trying to think
I think it was he gives in too much. I'll put the clip in, but I think he gives in too much.
Was it?
I think so. I could be wrong. But then because he said that you're too temperamental and, you know, you act before you think a lot. I think that was the conversation, if I'm not mistaken. And then he
said he was on edge.
Or an edge, yeah.
He was on edge and the other one was too.
Laid back, I guess.
Yeah,
something.
I don't think he was. I think it wasn't even anything along the lines of anything they showed us. Yeah. I think the aggressive one maybe his character traits, but either way, it showed restraint. I mean, they weren't being aggressive. So the bottom line is, it was just a limited timeline.
Yeah,
I have a lot of questions still, which pertain to
not
anyone
really
dying. If no one died, then what?
I guess it's.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like what would have happened
if
you didn't follow the
then
vision?
There's no judgment. I mean, because there's no need.
I guess
I'm not trying to lose my life. I don't care which team I'm on.
Yeah.
You know, and if it is to be that way, it's not going to be in no type of violent, aggressive way. It's a bullet to the brain or something simple.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And that was the thing, was like, let's make it quick. Because there was a line in there, and I think this is the line that killed me, I think it was Eric who said it, was, they weren't here to harm us, they were here to spend time with us. Or something along those lines.
Right, he did say that.
And I was like, back and you watch it, I mean, even when you're watching, you see that they don't want to hurt them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't want to do anything to them.
But time was so limited, and that's the frustration I have with it.
There was so much limit. There was so much limits there, where like I feel like the plagues and stuff are happening.
Yeah, that's very.
And I get it. Like because the first one, they had a whole the plague happened. They got rid of Ron Weasley. They were able to go to sleep. And then the next one was like, okay, we got to do it. No, boom, we take the girl out.
Yeah, they really didn't. Yeah.
And then it like right after that, it was like another one, like within. Yeah. It felt like minutes.
It was like the next. It wasn't the next day.
Yeah.
They didn't get to sleep on it again.
So I feel like they should have made it day by day. Like okay,
correct.
It's all right.
But they wouldn't be able to restrain them. I mean, I don't know how they could have drawn that out. Because they weren't going to be restrained for that long.
Well, I mean, what would they... There was nothing they could really do. They cut the tires.
Technically might not have caught the girl.
Yeah.
There's too many rules. It's like, you have to suspend your disbelief in this movie because, say the little girl escaped. Say any one of them escaped.
Now what happens?
Right. You don't even know which one...
You still sacrifice somebody?
Right. It's just too many... It's a bizarre movie. You know, it's not meant to be... taken. I don't even think it's meant to be taken so much literally.
No,
you know.
And like people, I know people are saying like I've seen people say something about like how it takes away religion and the idea of God. I said I don't think it really did.
No,
I think it gave us the. I said they even said that they were now a little bit into spoilers. So pause it and watch the movie. Horsemen of the Apocalypse, because the original 4 horsemen is what death. Famine. Was it war?
Probably.
Or something like that, or wrath.
And none of them had anything to do with.
No, this one
love.
This one was This one was nurturing.
Like, yeah, nurturing.
Was it healing?
Healing.
Gratitude. And I think only one that was like anything of hate was
the first one.
The first one.
It was bigotry or something like that. Something.
I forgot what it was. I gotta look it up and see it again. But it was something like that. But again, it was so it was like a different take on the religion aspect. And I kinda like this take. Only reason is because how do you get mad if somebody's acting out on love? They have to make this sacrifice. This ain't a sacrifice of hate and of how you say it? It's like hate and this distaste. This is like a sacrifice of I love our family so much. I gotta watch our baby girl grow up. And even him's going, I couldn't live with myself if I had to do it to you. You're gonna have to do it because you're the strong one. And to make that decision, it was like, whoa. Like I said, that's where it kind of got like sad because it's like he knew he already accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
He accepted it a long time ago. He was just hoping there was another way. At that point, it was like he knew there was no other way. I'm not strong enough. You are. You'll be able to live on. I won't be. And I said she's gonna find love like we did. And when he said that, I'm like, it's true. Like, if I gotta make that sacrifice, it's gonna have to be the person that could live with that. And I think, and I said to people, I even said this to her. I was like, that's a decision where it's like, for me, it's impossible. And I said, I think for me, and this is where I'm not strong enough. Like I even said to myself, I would have to be the sacrifice.
Right.
Because I wouldn't be strong enough not to let my greed take over. I want my family. So right. I don't give a damn about billions of people. I want my family. So I'm not, and that's where it's like, oh, maybe Andrew was the weak one because he couldn't accept anything. And his greed was letting him take over. Like, no, that's my family. I don't care about you.
He was the weak one.
But
he became strong.
At the end, yeah.
He was the one who had to learn the lesson.
Yeah. And I think that's what it was always his lesson,
because he was
fall
weak,
back. Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it's
And in a nutshell, everybody dies. Well, not everybody, but all the killers. You know,
the world ends basically.
Almost there. We're gonna be okay. I love you. Both of you.
We love you too. Oh my God!
Hold on!
Ron.
Nah, that's what I
Ron
thought.
Weasley gets beat up. Well, he gets killed first. And what did they say? May the humans be judged or something, or mankind be judged.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So you have that. You had him, then you had the first girl, the nurturer. She tries to please with him, but doesn't happen. So she has to give up her life, and then you get the pandemic. Oh, with him you get the tidal waves, and the earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get her with the, and this is where
I
think this is where I'm going. Okay, this isn't. All right, well, you're not part of this. Anyway, this is where you go. Okay. The next one, I might have to make a choice because this disease wasn't killing grown-ups. It was killing kids.
It was killing kids. That was wicked.
I was like, whoa. I'm like,
what I
okay,
felt bad.
maybe I'm gonna have to reconsider this choice thing.
Bro, his husband was giving him grief, like he was like trying not to let him listen. And this and that. He should have just made the choice. What, did they all have to make a choice as a family?
They had to make a collective choice. Yeah.
That's a
as
lie.
Them
because
two.
As them. Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't have. They weren't putting that on the little girl.
Nah, they should have, because that would have been interesting to see who she wanted to live with.
Well, there was that. I don't know if you caught it when he sent her to the treehouse.
Yeah.
She gave Eric a hug, and this is where I'm a little confused because maybe she knew something was up.
Mm-hmm.
She gave Eric a hug,
Mm-hmm.
and then she went over to Andrew, and she kind of dissed him. She did, yeah. She like walked away from him. Like he went up, he put his hands out. She just kept it moving. And I think either she was like choosing,
mad at him.
Yeah, she was choosing the Eric over him. But for some reason, I feel like she knew what was about to go down. Like she just had, like, intuition.
She knew more. When they got in the car, it was clear to me that she knew more what was going on than her dad.
Yeah.
Like she believed before he did.
Well, that's the innocence of a child. They're gonna believe it.
But people excuse that as childlike innocence.
Yeah.
It's not. Children are wise. Let me tell you why. Because they haven't been taught to be stupid yet.
I like that.
Children understand things on an intuition level, where emotionally, before the world deprograms them.
Yeah.
And reprograms them the wrong way.
Yeah. And that's true. That is true. And what I love about it was even. And this was the scene that killed me too. So at the end, you get back in the car, and they listen to Boogie Shoes, and that was like their collective song as a family. And that song plays, the dad turns it off first.
You can see her maturity.
She turns it on, and it's like, and we're like, look me. She's like, because it makes her feel like he's still there with them.
Mm.
And then it goes. Then she turns it off because he's not reacting. And
she
then
turned it off for him.
Yeah, and he kind of like, he turns it on. I'm like, can y'all make up your mind?
Well, I knew she was being the grown up by turning it off for his weak emotions.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, let me turn it on for her.
This is a moment.
Because he wouldn't sacrifice. That was a reality. And beyond that, he wasn't going to sacrifice his life. He wasn't going to sacrifice his family's life. Yeah. The thing is, she was mature from the opening scene because even when children...
She said, I can't talk to strangers,
right.
But she just felt something with him.
Right. Children have to know when someone's trustworthy or not.
She knew he wasn't a bad guy.
Right.
I'm not from around here, but I was hoping to make some new friends.
Oh, you're really good.
Thanks, Will.
Daddy Eric taught me. I'm studying them.
There you go. just a natural, or did someone teach you how to catch grasshopper?
They're friends?
You're my friend, Wen. This isn't about you, Wen. Or your dad's.
And that's it's an emotional.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Probably I would say when it comes to M Night, I'll say top 5 movies of his.
Yeah, it's up there.